Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for joining today's AITS webinar. I hope you can all hear me well. Before starting, and for the people who are joining our webinars for the first time, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nader Al-Hamad, and I'm handling the channels and marketing in AITS. And this webinar is part of our Edge to Enterprise campaign for the smart city industry. I believe you have already started receiving our marketing materials about this topic over the last month. But for today's webinar, I'm glad to have with me my colleague Tamim Kima, the head of digital solution business within AITS, and also Majid Shakir, the partner manager from Stratus Technologies. Tamim and Majid will be leading us for the coming 45 minutes. So I wish you an interesting as well as informative session. And please feel free to type any question you will have during the webinar in the question box, and we'll be answering it by the end of the webinar. So now I will leave you on safe hands with my colleague Tamim. Hi, Tamim.
Hi, Nader. Thank you very much. And thank you, everyone, for attending this session today. Well, today it's really an information-rich topic about smart city solution, and the swift way to start with is to start with the agenda. We're going to talk about the smart city. What is the smart city? How we see the smart city from a systems, from areas within the entire city, and what our strategy to approach the entire smart city command center, and then to bring you into our solution, or our, let's say, conceptual solution on how to bring in all the information on a smart city level operation, knowing that there's many challenges that needs to be addressed, and there's many areas that needs to be tackled as well. And then my Majid will step in to talk about the availability and how we make sure that all the data related to smart city are available when it's needed. And then we'll end up the session for today, and we'll be receiving your questions or answering questions at the end of the session. So starting with what is smart city and our definition and as an infrastructure. We relate to subsystems that are existing in the smart city, and we call them departments, we call them functional areas. We talk about facilities, BMSs, IBMSs, traffic, public transportation, utilities, could be water, could be the power management, could be a solar, could be the data centers related to information, security could be also part of the smart city concept. Now, knowing the fact is that the objectives that needs always to be covered, and this is by bringing stakeholders within the government or city municipal, is that they always have those given objectives for smart city to deliver, where they've seen it as a visionary, where they need to deliver more safer, reliable, and efficient municipal services, and enhance the experience of their citizens, and be able to take the right decision and the faster decision on a real-time basis, where it will give an enhance on the response into any crisis. Sorry. And then, of course, where every city has revenue, where every city has a cost, where the ultimate goal were to reduce the operational cost, to reduce the energy cost, to reduce any cost impact related to a city operation, and therefore to optimize the asset utilization, to optimize the operation in different areas when it's connected to a single function, and of course at the end of the day to achieve the sustainable and reliable and high experience availability for the citizenship. Now, the challenges that we see, whether from a global market trend, where it's really developing so rapidly when it comes to urbanization and when it comes to globalization, where we always come with the challenges of many connected systems. Now, the challenges that we see within a smart city, where the experience mostly lies with the people, and the people are aging, and there is definite a shift in the workplace and the expectation that has been always implanted within the city. And of course, the climate change, the huge capex, and the limited of the available resources, and looking always to prove and align this with the sustainable relates to the city economy, and of course to manage the expectation that is given from millions of citizens living within the city. Where we have a different thoughts on where actually to start implementing this, given the fact that it's not a consolidated, I would say, view. However, it's been always an objective to make it consolidated, or to make it under one single area or one single place where we can take the right decisions at the right time. Now, we have, indeed, we have many technologies that has been invested. We have many areas that has been developed. Some areas are smart, some areas are really off connected, and so we have to bring in everything in one place in order to take the right decision. And this is where we see it. So many questions that are being asked by stakeholders that we actually come into place and make it as a starting point for us to build down to our solution, or to bring in our solution. As many questions like how would I be able to monitor and operate the city as one place, or from one place? Given the fact is that we have many places, or we have many areas of functions within the city, and all of them is isolated. How can I provide safer, and how can I make sure that my regulatory reforms and being applied, not only let's say ink on a paper? No, I need actually to monitor it. I need to make sure that it's being be able to track it, be able to comply with it. How can you ensure your asset availability? How to ensure the availability and reliability of your assets? Would I be able to make the right decision given the fact that I have the right information at the right time? How can I enhance the life experience and the lifestyle and the experience of our citizens? How can I really reduce the costs and improve my revenue and stuff? So with those given questions, we actually start to look at it from a different perspective here. So we have, the 3 to 4 key elements that we see within a smart city. We're talking about people who are running the operation, processes that are being involved with the many experience of operators or supervisors or superintendents or even managers. And we have assets, and we have systems, and we have many those let's say independent individuals or independent systems that are part of the smart city, whether they like it or not. How we can bring in all those systems, people, and assets into one place where we can harmonize or create an harmony on the operation wise, and create an harmony on a city level. So we're talking about systems, and I will be drilling down the more the coming slides with how to do that, with a step by step and how to do that. Now, the idea at the end of the day is to perform, to have a performance management, to be able to take the right decision, and to contextualize the IT and the OT operation all in real time. So this is more or less is the way we think of solving or bringing a solution into a smart city, knowing that there's many challenges and things that have to be covered and tackled with our solution. So a system of system approaches the way we see it. We know for a fact that we have many types of hardware, many type of investment that has been already been conducted by the government. Although there's also many solutions that are being deployed and invested in place within different areas within the smart city. speaking of transportation, traffic control, smart traffic control, street light management, speaking about security, surveillance. So we have really a huge investment that has already been invested within the city. Now we bring in those communication into an area where we can establish that connection within all those smart services or hardware or assets, and we categorize them into different levels, whether the OT connectors or the IT connectors. The ultimate goal is to bring them to our core fundamental of the UOC, the Unified Operations Center, where we can create the standardization, create the contextualizing, collecting those information, structuring those tons of raw data, and provide the available tool for you to bring in actionable insights into it. Now, with this in hand, this is where we have ultimately built as a smart city solution, where in one single interface you could view multiple systems that are connected or that are connected within on the smart city level, and bring in as a single source of information where everything is being contextualized from an end-to-end enterprise visibility, and be able to take or be able to drill down into those subsystems if needed, to be able to provide the necessary information for the necessarily operated area or dependent area. But given the fact that everything now is connected and all the actionable insights that will be taken are not taken as before as a silos or as a different operation areas. So we would be able now, seeing the information in a contextualized or a single view, we'll be able to add that intelligence layer where we can ensure that yes, we can now enhance our data works or services to be provided, and we can match that digitally with our government or organizational objectives. To walk you through different elements, and I will cover. So I will cover what are the different systems like that we bring in within the system. We're talking about the GIS, the transportation in real time, bring in the financial related information as in DRB, as the last year revenue and the year-to-date revenue. Be able to match our KPIs given the fact, or given an insight, or keep in mind the last year performance, and see where we stand at this point. Be able to see what are the cases being monitored, what are the cases being handled as we speak. Be able to even if issue or open a ticket on a certain area that involves the operation merging between two different departments, either the maintenance, either the safety, either the audit trails, drill down to the actual utilities, whether related to power, water, water treatment, pipeline management, grid, power grid management. All those PMID related diagrams were related more to industry, so to the industry where it's more relevant for a day-to-day operation standards. So all those different areas of operation can be really merged into a one single operation management interface, where you can take an actionable insights, where you can take the right decisions, where you can have a contextualized view, as you're seeing here, that you're seeing the maps, GIS information, CCTV footage, and also be able to file tickets based on a fingertip. So all the information are provided with you in a very easy manner, or a very easy user interface platform. So so this is another example of how to do it. So if we will drill down into what are the areas that we need to connect to. So we here were given an example of a possible way of bringing those connections for different sources of information that are distributed across the city. We're talking about street lights, we're talking about smart traffic control, public transportation, utility, power, water, irrigation. So there's many systems that can be acting as a data source or a source of information for our smart city command center. Now, having those information connected and collected by integration, that unified integration layer, where we can bring those sources of information into one place, and adding enabling the analysis and the prediction tool, or providing the tool where we can create your actionable insights, and this is where it could be relevant to a city operation, could be relevant to an area operation or department operation. But what we can bring into that is the most important elements within the city command center, is to create that actionable acts and collaboration between those different silos of different sources of information. And not only that, is to provide a different operation interface or different operation areas. So it's not necessary to have that smart city in one area. So it could be within the city area, but provided in particularly to the right operator. So you would have the city operator would have his own interface. The mobile operator for the audit and void maintenance related would have his own space, or it has his own interface. You have the maintenance related, you have the security auditors, you have the supervisors or superintendents. So each one will be provided with his contextualized view of the related interface for his day-to-day operation. And as well, you will be able to, we will provide you, will have the ability to provide the continuance reworking of the procedures and the functions that has already been constructed before, to see how we can make this better, how we can perform this action better. Now, on top of all that, the source of information that is acting as as a raw data for us, if the connection for that source of information is no longer available, it means that we are missing we are missing a source, we are missing an important information to take the right decision. With this, I will introduce my colleague Majid Shakir, who will walk you on how we can ensure that those source information or the edge systems are being available and reliable, and to ensure the business continuity as well. With this, I will hand over to Majid. Majid?
Yes, thank you, Tamim. Thank you for having me today on this webinar as well. So let's start. I wanted to bring in who is Stratus. Stratus, we've been around for 40 years, over 40 years, with our corporate headquarters in Maynard. We've been providing reliable, redundant, zero-touch computing to high-risk, data-rich operational environments, and we've been enabling our partners to securely and remotely turn data into actionable intelligence that drives the uptime, quality, and efficiency needed in a smart city, for instance. Our global expertise is reflected in numerous patents that we have currently, and over 20,000 systems deployed worldwide. We are actively also evolving and growing the business to support new industries and markets in our timeline. So our vision really is, as the world is transforming now into a digital one, our main aim is to create digital edge solutions that are simple but yet protecting this new world. And our mission is to be the partner of choice for reliable zero-touch edge computing. So as you saw in Tamim's previous slides, how do I enable, or how do I protect these systems in a smart city? So for instance, when you look at the smart bus systems, availability with Stratus is attainable with different levels. So on smart bus systems, we can provide a solution that can create high available systems for that. Street light systems as well can become high available or fault tolerant. Environmental sensors, smart parking systems, CCTV, intelligent traffic management systems, smart garbage bins. With power systems, water systems, and sewage systems, and building or integrated business or building management systems, we can even go to a level where you can get up to 5 nines or 6 nines of availability, which is possible with Stratus. And our real aim here is to provide, again, simple, protected, autonomous, zero-touch computing platform for the edge and for the city. And that means critical to your business apps, at the same time being able to protect those business apps and being able to be reliable, rugged, and not really requiring much of a technology guru to go out and fix repairs and maintain these repairs. Our prime directive is to create a very simple, protective, and autonomous platform for these smart cities specifically. And we've also got the value of zero edge computing platforms. So most customers' edge computings are really simplicity. How do I get it out there? How do I make it simple to use? How do I service it if it's very far or if it's sitting on top of a tower or very hard to reach? The usability of these smart edge computing platforms. Is the data that's being received from the smart edge platform manageable? Can I read it? Is it does it maintain its data integrity? How long can I keep these systems up and running outside in the edge? And of course, I need availability. With all that in mind and all these customer needs, we can deliver no dedicated IT support for our platforms. Our platforms have a self-service type autonomous repair model. We are self-managing. The machine itself can self-manage itself. The way our technologies work, we can maintain data integrity with no data loss. Longevity, we can maintain above industry average longevity. And application availability, we can maintain with no planned, even if you have unplanned downtime with power outages, network cables, anything that could be related to a power or a downtime for your application, we also can deliver no unplanned downtime. And for this, thank you for having me. I will leave it to my partner, Tamim, to continue.
Thank you, Majid. Very rich and concise information on how we ensure the business continuity of those edge systems. Before we end, we would like to cover some of the benefits that we see from bringing all those information in place, and most importantly, is to have a single source of the truth. You need to maintain that all edge systems are really relevant and connected. So with this in mind, you will be able to take more faster and reliable, efficient decision. Given that you have now an overview on the entire operation. Most importantly, to create that coordination between those departments and entities and companies that you have in this smart city, because those operations were independently operated previously, but when you have them connected, when you have them with those functional silos being on a unified function related to a consolidated objectives, this is really what add the value into that platform. With this, we can orchestrate. With this orchestration, we can have those operations centralized, and of course, reduce the downtime expected, reduce the outages, ensure that we increase the productivity and the information flow that will help us to take the right planning or to take the right planning on depending on the current economic situation, and of course, reducing the risk, increasing the security, and complying and be able to comply and trace those rules and regulations within the city. And with that in hand, we don't need to, when you say that the cost of ownership for the structural benefits that we see for a smart city is that the information has to be kept floating between those departments, where we now know that there's a digital experience and digital enhancement that can be tangible now. So it's not something visionary that we would always seek to build, but it is actually being built to create a lower impact on the staff turnover, reduce any related to integration costs, reduce as well the investment for new projects where standardization is already being created, and of course increase the lifetime, reduce I would say less investment and higher outcomes in terms of results, and of course being open, with the distribution is open to be integrated with absolutely anything, so we don't have any limitation to adopt new technologies in place. The last that I will end with is that we can be with you really in a very niche idea stage where we can provide our experience and share with you our experience on how did we pull this through in many areas across the globe. We can be there and before even starting any projects how we can specify it, how we can prescribe those integrations, how we can put really appropriate planning on how to pull this through and how to bring the system in together. And during the project, of course, we'll provide as much assistance as needed in order to make sure that everything is being complied to what we have specified, to create a standardization. So we'll make sure that yes, we draw this pattern, we have those templates, we have those deployment modules that we have to adopt, we have to follow it, and of course, as a project management capability that we can provide you in the project cycle. And not only that, after the platform is being built, everything is being settled. So we have to make sure that yes, how we go through all the standardization, all the specification that we have applied, to be able to create a routine digital audit, meaning what I mean by the digital audit, that something will be recorded digitally. It's not based on a traditional way of ink and paper, let's say. So everything will be recorded digitally. Everything will be there digitally from a collaboration perspective, from a integration perspective, from an information as well. And with that, would really give us a push where we can enhance those processes, enhance those integration, enhance the flow of information. There's many areas where we can always provide a continuous improvement into it. So with this, what we're providing today is not just the software. What we're providing today is really a solution where it will bring you into the new evolution of a smart city command center. So with this, I will end. Thank you, everyone, for being quiet. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamim, and thank you, Majid, for the slides. Let's just give a few minutes to the audience to raise their questions. And in the meanwhile, just want to remind everyone that they can follow us on our social media platform to stay tuned with our latest, let's say, news and the technology updates. The links are already existing on the chat box as well. So far, the first question we received is a long one. Let me raise it. What are the limitations in terms of integration? This is important to avoid investing on existing systems, and what are your advantages on competition? long question, Tamim. Can you help with this, please? Tamim?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, I can attend to this question. Let me share my screen again. There's actually one slide that I would like to go through. It would be much better to answer this question or to address this question. So, talking about the limitation of integration, or what actually differentiate us from others, let's say, in terms of providing such a solution, it's really quite very simple here. So, speaking about four key elements where we pull this success in many areas across the globe is how effective is our platform, and how flexible our deployment is, and how compatible our connection is, or our integration is, and how we can create those actionable insights. If I would drill down into each and every point where would highlight or would answer the question asked there. So when it comes to effectiveness, so we make sure that we want to create that seamless integration between entities and between operation and between let's say stakeholders within the organization. So we have our let's say core solution that can combine back office information, that can combine IT application, that can combine OT application into a one single operation area. Now, when it comes about the flexibility, is that it's not a one solution that we deployed. In fact, it's a modular-based solution where you can deploy the solution areas or the solution components as an add-on modules. So it's as a plug and play. So because part of adopting that solution, or part of deploying the entire smart city solution, is the adaptation of the workforce for that technology, because this is not more than an enablement tool for you to make your life better, to make your decision better, to make everything, let's say, from a structure-wise reliable. So we have really a flexible way on how to deploy this technically and commercially, where you can pick and choose the right solution for you, and you can deploy it or add on the module into it. From a compatibility, we don't actually intend to replace or remove any existing investment that has been made across the city. So if there's an existing investment on a solution in some particular area, we are not intend to replace that. We not intend to demote that. No, we need to bring this into our smart city platform. So we are as you will see from AVEVA, we are really a vendor agnostic. So we connect to absolutely a limitless possibility of integration with industrial, with IT, or with an OT, or with the sensors, or with the connectors. So we support over 370 plus different drivers, protocols, and communication medium. Collaboration is really where it should make this happen, depending on what models that you have applied, is that to create the full visibility of your data, contextualized way, bring in the functions that were independent in prior ways in different areas, bring them all into one process, bring those collaboration into one process, being able to monitor, track, and trace, be able to have that singular vision, let's say, for smart city, to match the only objectives or the high level objectives from the government point of view, or from a smart city point of view. So this is how we can differentiate us, and this is how we can bring in any type of information, regardless from any system. Yes, Nader.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Actually, this is the main flexibility that our solutions are offering when we say that we are centralizing the information all in one central place. You can have one source of truth This one definitely, as we said in the beginning, cannot be done except if you have mentioned time, cannot be done except if you have assured that the information and the data that you are receiving are all 100% accurate, and this will be assured with Stratus, with the availability that Stratus technology are offering to the systems. Next question is for Stratus. How to work and get trained on Stratus, and is there any registration for Stratus system integrator? Majid, I need your help for this question, please.
Absolutely, yes. We have opened up our VAR, and our SI programs are coming up in the next couple of months. You will be able to register with us, get trained, carry our badges and so forth. Machine builders as well are welcome. Of course, it would go through the distributor in the region, but it empowers you and you can get trained, educated. There's hands-on classes and certifications available as well.
Okay, thank you. Next question, who should we contact to get more details and discuss? Definitely, if you have any question, you can contact us, and we will be sending, we have received a few questions as well, but we are running out of time. So we'll be sending an email after the webinar, definitely, so we can have a one-to-one session. And if anyone would be interested for more discussions about the smart city topic, you are all most of welcome. I think no more questions for now. Yep, I think that's all for today. So Tamim and Majid, thank you so much for this comprehensive webinar. I hope everyone found it interesting as I did. And for all the audience, a big thanks for the time and for your participation. You will be receiving the webinar recording definitely after the webinar now, and you can share it with your colleagues. Always you can come back to us and send us anything, requirement or an opportunity to discuss any potential business for the future. Tamim and Majid, if you have anything to say it before leaving, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Nazar. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tamim. Thank you, Majid. Thank you, everyone.